This lesson is going to have us looking at the correlation between a team's payroll in a given year and its record. So we're going to see if you pay your players more, does that mean you will end up with more wins in an 162 game season? So we've pulled down some data from some online sources that gives us win-loss records of teams for the last 10 years, including 2014. And looking at, here we have payroll data for every team for the last 10 years. And we are going to put all of this information together in one table, and we are going to make a bunch of different graphs to represent whether there is a relationship between how much you pay your players and how many games you win. So to start off, let's make our spreadsheet. Let's first name this tab our payroll tab. Using the shortcut Alt-H-O-R, we are going to rename the tab payroll. And hitting Control page down, we're going to rename this tab standings. Historical standings. Next, we're going to get everything into a good format because, like we learned in the last lesson, if your reference points for your VLOOKUPs are not the same, then your VLOOKUPs will not work. There will be VLOOKUPs in this example. So we're going to, you'll see here that we have team names and cities in one cell in our payroll page. However, in our historical standings tab, we have team name and city in different cells, but our lookups will need our information to be all in one cell. So what we're going to do is we are going to insert a column, Alt-IC, and let's, just to make everything pretty, remove borders for everything. So hit Control A and then hit Alt-HBN, no borders. And just for good measure, let's just make all the font colors black. So that's Alt-HFC, enter. Now all of our font colors look good. Let's see what happened here with all. And we are going to unfill, no highlights. You can see here our cells are filled with highlights. We want to hit Control A again. Alt-HH and removes our highlights. We also want these numbers not to be bolded, so we're going to hit Control Space and then Control B to remove the bolding. And now we're ready to learn another formula. Get excited. So here we're going to combine, using the concatenate function, the Baltimore and Orioles and New York and Yankees and Toronto and Blue Jays into the same cell. We're going to hit equals, and then we're going to hit trim, so that way if there are any spaces next to any of the team names, we take away those spaces to the left and the right. That's what trim does. C2, using the ampersand and function and in quotation marks space, close quotation marks. Sorry about that. And D2, enter. Now we have our text wrapped, so we need to unwrap our text by hitting Alt-HW, and now our text is unwrapped. We'll auto-fit our column, Alt-HOI, and now you can see we have the, and let's trim D2 just in case. Trimming cells is a good habit to get into. So we have trimmed C2, Baltimore, and space inside quotes. Anytime you want to put text in a formula, you need to put that text, including spaces, inside quotation marks. another and the trimmed version of D2. Let's drop that all the way down to our last portion of data, which is in 2005. Hit Control D, and I also don't want this to be filled, so we are going to just click left. You can see, let's auto fit. Everything looks okay. Let's unbold this this column, and now let's I don't want these to remain as formulas. I just want the cells to contain the text, so that way when we delete, let's just look at what happens. We're going to delete the data in column C, and our formulas in column B don't like that because now they no longer have a reference point to look at in column C. You can see the cell. The formula doesn't know where to look, so let's just hit Control Z and undo what we just did by deleting column C. And we're going to do what's called hard code in column B, and that's to get rid of formulas and keep the text only in column B. So we're going to hit Control space, Control C for copy, and then hit Alt E S, and now we're at paste special. Paste special is a good function. You can see you can paste formulas, paste values, paste formats. Those are the three main functions of the paste special box. We're going to paste values only, so we want the values in the cells, so Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, to be the only thing that appears as contents in the cell, so we're getting rid of our formulas. So let's hit V and enter. And now you can see, looking in the formula bar, there are no more formulas inside of our cells, only text. And now we can get rid of columns C and D by hitting Control space and then hitting Control minus. I also don't need this column. I really don't need anything except for our wins and losses column. And so what we're going to do is get our winning percentage. And we're going to do that by dividing wins over 162, because there are 162 games in a baseball season. And if we wanted to, we could make this a percentage, so by hitting Alt HP and then clicking over here to increase our decimals, we could have 59.26%. Alt HP puts your numbers in percentage formulas. Alt HK puts them in comma format. Alt H and G puts them in general format like we had before, but we want percentages, and we're going to want 2 decimal places out to the right to the hundredths place, so we can see what our winning percentages are. And now just let's get some font consistency. Alt HFF, Calibri, and 11. All right. Now everything looks okay. Now I had to do some other formatting tricks in order to get our payroll data to look nice, and I'll take you through those formatting formulas. So let's go Control Page Up. Now you can see that when I pulled this data from the website I got this payroll information from, what happened was that there were team names with periods and ranks next to them, and I only wanted the team names. So I used this formula, as you can see in the formula bar, that says take the right characters in A2, look at the length of the number of characters in A2, and then subtract everything take everything to the right of the space and subtract out everything to the left of the space's position. I'll explain what I mean. So you can see we have this length formula. And I'll show you what the length formula does. So the length formula is equals len, open parentheses, equals length d2. And the formula will return 4 because there are 4 characters in d2. So what's happening in this formula is that this formula, our length formula, is saying, look at the length of characters in cell A2. There are 19 characters. The formula is also saying find the space. You can see there's a space inside the quotation marks in cell A2, and then take everything to the right of that space. And that's all this formula is doing. So that is how we got our city names, from the right of the period. You can see, or rather the right of the space. You can see what's going on in every single one of these cells. However, that wasn't the case for all of the teams. So let's hard code copy Alt ESV. Our team names there. We can get rid of our team names here on the left. Delete ranks there. I'm going to show you guys in a second how to do a more interesting rank formula. You can see we have all of our payroll data dating back to 2005. So let's get rid of this column. We're going to put all of our numbers in comma format, so hitting Alt HK, and you can see that removed the dollar signs from all of these other numbers which previously had dollar signs. Now you can see as I hit Alt HK, the dollar signs go away and our numbers look a little prettier. We're going to remove the decimal places because we don't need zeros. I'm going to hit Control A, remove the bolding, remove the fills, Alt H, and now we have no highlights. And just to be safe, no borders, Alt HB, N, just to make sure everything's the same color. HFC, everything's black. Font, Calibri, 11. Now everything is formatted nicely. Okay. What we'll do next is rank our payrolls from largest to smallest. And I'd like to do that all at once, and I will show you how to do that in the next video.